Button, I apologise now.
Right, birthday card.
At the end, yeah.
Yeah.
Jim.
Ted.
Ted. Jim.
Jim. Drop the phone. Somebody. Smile sweetly and you get away with it.
Raffle. Food. Peel cabbage.
Cabbage? Oh, you've got the cabbage.
So I told you.
Good morning, everybody!
Hey!
Wow! Wow! Yeah, this is amazing. Thank you so much. We're going to have a beautiful, beautiful service today. We have the lovely Reverend Ashley Oliver, who will be taking us on this journey through Advent, as she has done for the last few weeks. And we're looking forward to part 3. We have the wonderful Mark Stone with us.
Oh, hey! It's like Panto. Oh, no, it's not. You were late, too late. He's behind you.
We've got the drawing. Shut up. It's going to be a long day. We have the drawing of the raffle after the service. Anybody here wishing to buy tickets, they will be available after the service. We've got some wonderful food that's been donated by wonderful people, so thank you so much. And teas and coffees will be available from the kitchen. Just to remind people, this is not our last service of the year. We are open on Christmas Eve at 4 o'clock for a service. Christmas Day, we extend the invitation to anybody who's on their own or isolated to join us for Christmas Day lunch. On the 28th, Mark and myself are having an evening of mediumship, and then on New Year's Eve we have a gong bath. So there's an awful lot of places now, this is their final thing, and a couple of people today said, oh, will you now shut? I wish. Seriously. But we're not, so just to let you know. Lawrence, stop rambling. Reverend Ashley, if I may invite you up onto our platform. Thank you, my darlings.
Wow, we could get used to this. I like it. Hello, everybody. So we're at the third Sunday of Advent, and as you might be able to see, I was given very clear instruction from Spirit, my inspirers, not to bring any props. So what we're going to be talking about today is simplicity in the Nativity story. And as you can see, not in black today. So today is the third Sunday of Advent, which is Gaudete Sunday, which is very, very significant. And the colour that's associated with this is rose or pink or red, which is the colour of joy. It's the colour of joy. And so, again, I'm going to make apologies for anyone who follows liturgical scripture very closely, that I'm going to deviate, use it for my own purposes as an interfaith minister. It's my privilege to do that. So I'm going to be doing that today with you. So the word gaudete in Latin means to rejoice. Rejoice, everybody rejoice spontaneously now. Rejoice. Yay. But have you found that actually the truth of that is that sometimes on a spiritual pathway, do we always feel joy? Do we always feel joy? And once we become awakened, the first time we walk through those doors, the first time we see someone receive healing, the first time we listen to an amazing communication from a medium on the platform, the first time we're absolutely convinced that there is more to life, that we are sovereign, divine, spark of that Godhead, that we never die, do we instantly get transformed to a state of joy every single breathing moment of our lives? No, we don't. It's hard. The spiritual pathway is about those peaks and troughs, typified by some of the prophets that we've heard about in the story already. So John the Baptist, was his life easy? No. He was out eating locusts and wild honey in the desert and trying to spread the message of joy and the coming age. And he came to a sticky end, as we probably know of his story. He came to a sticky end. We also have some other prophets and people who have spread the message of hope and peace and joy that have had particularly challenging lives. So how do you respond when you're not in joy? And as for anyone who knows me knows that I'm a big kind of decolonizer of spirituality. There's an awful lot of words that are used. There's an awful lot of phrases and things which kind of put a lot of faith behind a velvet rope. That means it's not for the likes of us, and it is for the likes of people who have given themselves the position. And it's one of my vows when I became an interfaith minister that I would try with all of my being to try and allow people to realise that they are sovereign, divine beings that have the ability to do all of the things that are written about, that are spoken about. They have the ability to be healers and mediums and communicate with their loved ones and work the things that we would probably call miracles. So how is spiritual joy different? When we talk about the spiritual joy, how is it different from the kind of joy that we experience when we get a new pair of shoes maybe, or somebody phones us up we haven't heard from a long time? How would we typify spiritual joy? What kind of things would elicit it? When I think of spiritual joy, I think of that moment when we're on our healing journey and we're able to look at people that maybe we've had problematic relationships with in the past, and we're able to look at them and experience that moment of grace, that we can see them as fully divine, but also fully human, doing the very best they could in the circumstances that they had. Does that sound like that could fill you with joy? Yeah. And you're able then to move on with your healing journey. Other things that fill us with joy, what else fills you with joy in a spiritual sense? Anyone?
Relief.
Pardon?
Relief.
Relief. Yeah, that is a really big one, isn't it?
Because
Yeah.
they're really, if you look to God and to all our guides and helpers, you know you've got help regardless of what's going on down here.
Perfect. That is beautiful. Thank you. Yeah, those are the kind of things. So when we talk about spiritual joy, the word joy and rejoicing feels like we should be giddy and leaping about all of the time. But sometimes this spiritual joy are those very quiet, knowing moments that we carry within ourselves. So we're going to do a little bit of an exercise now. I'm going to give you a reading from, this book has been well read. It's a fantastic book by Jason Schulman, and it's called An Instruction Manual for Receiving God, and don't we all need that? And how handy it's written down in a hardback form. So if you want to just go to a place where you sit and can kind of receive this story. And his instruction about receiving joy and being in that moment of spiritual joy is, enlightenment doesn't cease to shine because it's imperfect, and imperfection doesn't go away because we are enlightened. Once there were two rabbis who saw God. They heard about each other and agreed to meet. They met in a small tavern in a small village on the outskirts of a small town. The first rabbi, whose name was Mordecai, looked at the other whose name was Abraham. I have seen God, said Mordecai, and my life has changed forever. Ah, I too have seen our Lord, and my life is changed as well, says Abraham. Mordecai leaned closer. But to tell you the truth, there's something I don't understand. Having seen God, do you think I would be happy all of the time, that my cares and woes would be nothing? But they are not, and I am at a loss to understand why. I have heard that you are actually happy all the time. Tell me, what is your secret? Abraham waited a moment or two and then said, Brother, we have both seen God, of that I am sure. But I have done one thing that you have yet to do. What is that? Said Mordecai. I have let God see me. And the moral of this story is that the bruised apple is still good for making pies. In other words, you need to trust in the joy the Creator has when they see the good in you that you yourself cannot see. Your sorrows do not need to disappear for you to experience joy and to be seen as utter perfection in God's eyes. Therefore, never hide any part of yourself, even your challenges. And I think that's really very beautiful, and there is an awful lot of misunderstanding about what this spiritual path entails, that it must be sunshine and roses and enlightenment and joy and self-healing and, you know...
Fluffy bunnies.
Fluffy bunnies, absolutely. And that's not what it's about. And whether we sit in circle, and that's something that I'm extremely passionate about, creating those places where we can come and be the fullest expression of ourselves and be held in that sanctity of that time, or whether you're in a mediumship development circle. And some weeks, you just can't get past yourself. And I know I was talking to Mark about that. It's something he's working with his students with. It's accepting all of it. And that gives us the opportunity to be in real joy, to be in acceptance of our fullness. So I'm going to leave you with a prayer and a blessing. And it's a blessing to be seen. It's a blessing to release yourself, to love, be compassionate, and to be seen. So if you want to go to that still quiet place, and if it helps you to put your hand on your heart, to really embed this, to feel it, to feel your heart beating under your hand, to feel the humanness of who you are as you blend with that part of you that is eternal. And so we say, Eternal Spirit, source of all that is, known by many names and worshipped in many diverse ways. We gather in unity to acknowledge the gift of spiritual joy in our lives. We recognise the threads of joy that weave through our journeys. May this joy, born from connection to the divine and being with people that we know and love on a similar pathway, transcend the boundaries that separate us and bind us together in this loving room. As we approach the Nativity and the winter solstice, symbols of rebirth and light, we seek the transformative energy of spiritual joy. May it illuminate our hearts and minds, dispelling the shadows of doubt and fear. In this season of anticipation, we ask for the grace to recognise joy in the diversity of life around us. Bless us with the ability to see beyond the surfaces of the failings that we perceive and find common ground in the shared experience of seeking joy. As we stand on the threshold, as we open this service, we invoke blessings upon this sacred time we share together. May the light of joy illuminate our lives. May the warmth of compassion be the star that guides us towards a season of renewal, as it was in the beginning, is now, and shall ever be, world without end. Aho, Awen, and so it is. Amen.
Amen. That was beautiful. Thank you, Ashley.
Thank you.
Slight change to the format of the service today. We have the beautiful Sue with her keyboard. So we will have two carols today. So our first carol is Hark the Herald Angels Sing. Now you haven't got background vocals today, so you need to use your voice. No miming. That was lovely, Sue. Thank you. So nice to have live music. We now just, for this time, for the togetherness, we've created this energy today, led by the wonderful Ashley, led by your singing. And no better time to use and harness and utilise that energy in which we have made here today in the art of healing. So we're just going to have a short meditation, short quiet time. Send out your thoughts to wherever you are drawn. We can all express love, and love is healing. Healing is love. It is simple, so simple. During this time, we invite you to, if there is anybody in particular you wish to put their name forward, please just raise your hand. And when I point to you, simply call out their name. The intelligence of spirit understands and knows. So just enjoy this time, just sending out all this beautiful atmosphere and energy that you have created here today. Thank you. met Tim and Lucy. Divine and gracious Spirit, God of our own understanding, we thank you for this timely reminder that no matter where or when, we can send out that love to wherever the opportunity arises. And those thoughts of compassion and upliftment will be received and acted upon. Amen.
Amen.
Now I'd like to invite the lovely Mark. Every time we work together, it's that.
At least it's not Marjorie this time.
I
so
know.
that's rather-
It's a weekend then. Mark, up to the platform for your philosophy.
Thank you, Lawrence. Good morning, everyone. And good morning to all of you who are joining us online as well. And thank you, Ashley, for your lovely reading for Advent. And, you know, it's interesting about you talking about joy. When I sat talking to the spirit world earlier, they said, we want you to talk about peace and how sometimes it feels that peace is so inconstant. And that at this time of year we hear what seems to be like a Christmas card greeting only now, peace on earth and goodwill to men, and everyone goes, well, yeah, it's just a sentiment on a card. But is it? You see, when we look at not just this time of year, but at life as it stands at the moment, life is in flux, is in transition. Life may seem like it's in a state of chaos when you look out into the world of how much seems to be at odds. But actually it's just change. Everything is constantly changing. And often so much in life, we feel that our peace is defined by everything remaining the same, stable, calm, reliable, certain. And if everything becomes uncertain, we lose our sense of peace. And that's what we have to learn as we grow through our life, that peace, the same as happiness, the same as joy, is not dependent on the outside world. It's dependent on the inner compass. It's dependent on the soul and the understanding within you that life is ever changing, that every moment of every day things can all just change in a moment, that all of a sudden everything that we thought we knew, we relied on, that we thought made us happy, can suddenly just no longer be there. And all of a sudden we lose our sense of peace with that. Or we say, I will be happy when, I will find peace when. And of course it's up to us to find peace now, happiness now, joy now, regardless of the outside circumstance, regardless of society and other people. How often, and we always laugh about this when we say to people, how are you? I'm all right, it's everyone else that's the problem. And then I turn around and I say, well, you really shouldn't say that because the common denominator between all those people is you. So what is it you need to learn? Why have these people come to be those people to you? Because maybe they've come to be the teacher for you. And you might think, I don't see what I can learn from someone who's pushing me beyond my limits of sanity. Especially at this time of year. Don't they know how much I've got on my plate? Driving back and forth to here the other day, I had so many people overtaking me in the most ludicrous manner. And I was thinking, well, they've obviously got to get somewhere faster than I have. I was trying to keep it spiritual, but there was the odd word that shouldn't come out of my mouth. But then I thought, but isn't that easy? All of a sudden to go, blah, 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 look at that person, blah, 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 and think, hang on a minute. I've just allowed someone who's purely doing what they decide is right to totally throw my centre of balance off. Remember, you don't know why they're going at the pace they're going. You don't know why they're behaving what would seem to others recklessly. But it's not yours to make that judgment, and it's certainly only you, not them, that allows it to break your peace. When other people say, you know, my problem is I take everything to heart and it upsets me and it destroys my peace. Notice the wording. I take it to heart. They don't put it there. We as the sensitive individual take it on board and we take it to heart and we allow it to change that inner peace. We allow it to destroy and shatter the peace that we hold within us. There is a beautiful hymn that is sung in many of our churches called "Let There Be Peace on Earth and Let It Begin with Me." Everything that we want to create in this life, bring into this world, has to come from within to without. Not from without to within. And it's when we start to learn that, as Ashley said, about learning about that sovereignty, that divine nature, that spiritual nature that we are, it's here that we have to turn to for our peace and our joy and our happiness. Yes, there are, in the company of others, the ones that we love. There is a joy and a love and a peace and a harmony that we may find within that. But we can't depend on that solely for our source. The spirit within us and the divine. You see, a lot of people, I've been born and raised in spiritualism. So for me, spiritualism is my religion, it is my belief, it is my science, it is my understanding. But a lot of people know mediumship, but not necessarily spiritualism. About the understanding of what the implications are of knowing there is an afterlife. What does it mean? It doesn't mean that you become a spirit when you die. It means you are a spirit housed in the body now. And just as there was an afterlife, there was a before life. A knowledge, a power, and a presence that then came into this body to be the spirit that you are. Instilled with the capabilities that will become manifest in your life, should you choose to look within. As Ashley said, she likes to bring that connection of God and the divine to everyone. For me, it is the same with mediumship and healing, that I want everyone to find the spirit world for themselves, to not be in the position of thinking there is someone between me and the other world, that I can only find my peace, the divine, through someone else telling me that it exists and it is so. We want to have the personal experience of the spirit world, of the divine. The ability to sit and to find moments of joy and happiness and peace, even in the chaos of transition. When I go into my local post office in Bransgore, I have a laugh and a joke, and it's so funny. The ladies go, every time you come in, we raise our pitched voice and go, hello! So we don't do that with anyone else. And I said, it's just because you're so pleased to see me. But we always have a laugh and we have a joke. And I went in one day and she said, can I ask you a bit of a personal question? I said, sure you can. And she said, are you always this happy? Do you ever have bad days? And I said, of course I do. But I said, it's my choice not to inflict on others. I would rather go out into the world and try and make people laugh and smile and leave the place a little better and leave the people a little better than when I first met them and when I first went there. And I said, and I do have some of those days, and some days I choose to share those moments with other people. Sometimes I choose to keep them to myself, and sometimes I connect to the spirit world and ask for that strength and the support to understand, why am I experiencing this difficulty? What is it that is disturbing my inner peace, my inner balance? Because it's through the learning of looking at what's really happening here, what's really going on. When someone does something to you and you think, oh, how dare you do that to me? Don't you know who I am? We had this conversation the other night. Don't you? But actually, they're not thinking of you often when they're doing stuff. You just happen to be in the way of them being them. It's your expectation that is causing you the disruption. It is your thought that they should be different, better, more respectful, different in the way they approach you, talk to you, deal with you. That's you expecting something different of them. And then you becoming upset that other people are not behaving in the way that you think they should. When people look in the world, I don't understand why people can't behave this way or that way. Because that's not your journey. That's why you don't understand it. That's fine. We don't have to understand everyone and everything, ladies and gentlemen. That way will lead us to madness. The better thing is to say, what am I doing to bring peace, love and harmony and joy into a situation? What am I doing to change the circumstance I see around me? You know, when we look at our churches, when we look at churches like this and the community that comes together, it's not just about mediums on a platform. And in fact, Lawrence has proved that, where there are services that take place here where no mediumship is involved, not in its typical evidential sense, but it's the joining together of people, of spirit, of community, the coming together in a circle, not necessarily a development circle, but a group of people sharing, caring and connecting. We are living in a world that is based on information and communication, and yet we are losing the art of conversation. Everything has become emojis, text, shorter, quicker, sharper. When actually what we often need to do is to sit down and talk. How many times have you misread and misunderstood a situation with a person because you've blindly assumed you know what they're thinking? Now, I know we talk about being psychic and mediumistic, but half the time it's our voice in our head telling us what we think they're thinking. And we drive ourselves to distraction by thinking, well, I know what they were thinking. Take the stage. But often we're torturing ourselves by that, rather than saying to someone, do you know what, the other day you said something and I didn't really understand. Oh, I'm sorry, I was really upset about something someone had said and I didn't realise what I was saying. And then it'd be cleared up. And you'd go, oh, so it wasn't me, it wasn't my issue, I didn't cause it, you're not upset with me. But yet, rather than have the conversation, we'd rather live in the uncertainty of what our thoughts are telling us. Loads of people come into spiritualism or into awareness to want to become mediums. And I want to talk to the spirit world, I want to talk to the dead people, and yet they won't talk to the living. And communication here to there is the same. If we're not willing to talk, to connect, to open up to people, we're going to make it very hard for ourselves to communicate here. Because we have to become the sensitive power that opens up through us, that allows other people to help us, to allow other people in, to actually be able to express who and what we are, whatever that is, whether it's in belief or our relationships, our work, whatever it may be, until we find that and can express it, we're often not at peace. How many of you here have been in a relationship, maybe in life, whether it's a personal relationship, a friendship, where you know it isn't right? I didn't ask for a show of hands, but thank you. We'll have a little counselling session after. But within you, there is no peace until it's dealt with. And that peace continues to be disrupted until you finally do what you know you must to resolve that situation. But the inner peace comes in listening to hear and saying, I know what this is. I feel what this is. And at this time of year, we live in a world of the consumer, and, you know, Christmas starts in August, God forbid. Already Easter eggs are going out on shelves, and you think, what is going on? They're rushing through the year. But it's not about that. It's about, and should be always about, the people. And after COVID and all the lockdowns, I thought, oh, maybe this is the point that changes us all to remembering how important it is just to be with people. That all the other stuff doesn't matter, but the fact that we can be together, or we can reach out to each other, or make sure that everyone is cared for and looked after, will bring us a greater sense of peace. And yet maybe we've reverted back. But remember, what is out there in the world does not have to be what is in here within the heart and the soul. Remember to think of others in this time. To think of self as well, not in a selfish way, but in a nurturing way. What is it I need at this time within my heart and within my soul? What is it I want to express? What is it I want to share? Not necessarily in the giving of the gifts under the tree, but the gift of our presence with others, the beingness with others. And there may be people that you spend time with Christmas out of duty more than out of joy. And you think, well, I only have to get this done and then I don't have to see them till their birthday. But what would happen if that birthday doesn't arrive? How would you then feel if you've done out of duty rather than out of love? And to recognise that maybe people are as they are for things that we don't understand, that we don't know truly what's going on within, what's disrupting their peace, and then we're allowing to disrupt ours. Maybe there is a point to say, wherever they are, I'm at peace with that. Whatever they do, that's okay. It doesn't have to stop my peace, my joy, my love. I'm at peace with it. And the decisions that we make based on what feels right to us, I'm at peace with those. Because often, I come from part of a family that's Catholic and part of a family that's got a Jewish background. We know about guilt. And it's very easy for people to feel guilted because of the things that we're told we should feel, we should do, we should think, we should behave. Find here, what does this inner compass, this inner spirit say to you? And find peace. And so I'm doing what makes me feel peaceful. I'm doing what makes me feel happy and joyful. Doesn't matter what anyone else says. You know, you might decide that at Christmas you don't put decorations up. And does that matter? But people go, where's your decorations? And then you have to justify. In the loft.
Where they belong.
Down the charity shop, somewhere else. But we often feel that we have to conform, which damages our sense of inner peace. To actually say, this is what I do, this is how I celebrate, this is how I find joy. Just remember, just being there is enough. That's the gift that you bring. Wherever you go, realise that your very presence is a gift that you bring to other people. Your love, your power, your light, your peace, your joy, your jokes, your wisdom, whatever it may be, your music. That's the gift that you bring to other people. It's you. You are the gift to the world. Not stuff, not things. You. So wherever you go, don't think of what you haven't got. Think of all the things that are wonderful that you are. And those are the things you share. And as you share it with other people, realise the difference it makes. Realise how it changes their lives. Like my ladies in the post office. You know, anyone that works behind a counter at this time of year and works with the public, they have such a stressful time. And I will leave you with a very on the edge joke for a Sunday service. I went into the post office one afternoon and my ladies were not particularly in a happy state. The boss had been a bit rough with them and they were trying to do their best and he was being anything other than gentle, tender, caring, loving and peaceful. And they were a bit down in the mouth. And I thought, you need to be lifted up in your spirits. Now, as you know, I have all my shop and incensey things, so everything smells of incense. So whenever I go to the post office and I hand my deliveries to the ladies, they always go, oh, what's in this one? So the other day when I went in and they were feeling down, I said, you do know you are now legendary. The ladies of the Bransgore post office, and said, what do you mean? And I said, well, I tell everyone it's the only post office I've ever been in where as soon as I go in, the ladies sniff my package. and they went, you've never, and I said, I haven't. Now I've just done it all over the world on the internet. It's even worse, isn't it, really? These poor ladies. But notice how that's changed a feeling in a room, a power and energy, and lifted their day. And I went out and they were giggling, and they were still giggling the following day. They said, we can't believe you said that. But what's that? Words, joy, laughter, silliness from here. Doesn't have to be, I've got a message. We are the message. We are the guardian angels, the guides, the helpers in human form for those who need help. Offer your help, your love, your support, because it's who and what you are, and be at peace with that. And whatever you do, don't do, or decide to do over this festive season, do it because it comes from here. Do it because that's what makes you feel at peace and at joy. And enjoy that time wherever you are, whoever you're with, and know, even if you are not with other people, that the other world is with you. That your loved ones, your friends that are only a thought away. And at Christmas, I always raise a glass to all the people I have known that have been a part of my journey and still are, because we haven't lost them, because we've lost the physical presence. We have the presence and the grace of their spirit forever. And I'll leave that with you and say, God bless and good morning.
That was lovely, Mark. Thank you. And I had my message from that, so thank you again. Thank you. So we're now going to have our second carol, aren't we?
Yes!
During this carol, the lovely Jenny will be taking the collection for the further work of this your church. Maestro, when you are ready.
Hold him, born again.
Before we move on to Mark's demonstration of evidential mediumship, as we always remind you, this is that three-way conversation. So please be part of it, be present, be in the moment. It is so important. So, if Mark should come to you, we like announce. No. A nice. I put the wrong teeth in. I put yours in. A nice, clear.
Yes. No. Maybe.
This is great. Mark.
What time are we going to? So we know.
We will overrun a wee bit because there's extended service. If anybody needs to leave because of parking meters, buses, the pub's open, whatever, just do so quietly. Simple.
That's right.
All right, but we'll go through to about 10 past.
Okay, lovely,
Thank you.
bless you. Okay. So, very important, Lawrence said, a three-way communication. Think of it, you turn up on the door for someone you haven't seen 20 years and they answer it like this. What? Doesn't help. So talk back, won't you?
Yes.
How quickly they forget.
I know.
Okay, so I'm aware of a gentleman with me here, and as I'm aware of him, he's showing me measuring tools and gauges, like very technical equipment. I don't really know what the term for it is, but you know, you get these little gauges and you have to pull them out to certain exact measurements. And I know that there's an element of an engineering or a navigation background that comes in with this gentleman. But I feel as well that this is within his career. But I kind of feel, actually, would your grandfather have had this navigational or technical, like engineering and technical, and would have gone on plans or maps and things with all these gauges?
Right,
And yeah, okay. Because he was just very much making me aware of these measures and gauges. And I know that, and ladies and gentlemen, before you go, oh, that's a plant, I don't know much about your family, do I, at all? In fact, very little apart from your mum and dad. But I know that as I've got this link here with Grandad, he was a man who would have been seen by others to be quite successful at what he did and conscientious and knowledgeable in what he knew, yes? But I know that he would have been a bit self-deprecating, that he said, well, I'm just doing my job and I'm just doing it to the best. But I know that as he talks about things here, he brings in this sense of measuring up and looking at life and what we measure as being successful. And having looked at how we thought success looked and how success looks now. And he's saying that it's all about what, again, you talked about bring joy, what really makes your life sing, and your life now sings so differently to the past. Would you also understand that around your grandmother, I'm assuming we mean his wife, there is a love of singing, music and song?
Yes.
Okay, because I know that as I hear the singing, I hear a lady not necessarily at a choir, but singing away as she's around and doing. There's never a quiet moment in the house. There's always music, there's always song. And I know that as we talk about this, in the family there is singing tendencies that are coming up through more and more. And I know that from the spirit world here, we've got a stage great-grandmother almost going, get up there and make me proud. But I know that as all of this comes into you, they want to bring in that sense of so many things cannot be measured and quantified. And there's an importance here that's placed around the whole of the family about the being with.
Yes.
And nothing else matters but the being with. Okay? And, all right, I will do. I know as well that your grandmother here is saying, I hear the prayers that get sent out. I watch, I listen, and I support, just as I did when here.
Thank you.
I was always just there. Whenever anything was needed, I was just there. And I just want you to know that that still applies now. Nothing has changed. Okay. Would you also understand if this still exists in the family, but there was a Bluebird toffee tin that had photos in it or memorabilia was kept in it?
We've still got the photos and toffees and
Okay. Because I'm just made aware of them all being put together. So even if we ask back, it may have been something that was there but no longer with the tin. But it seems to be important because it's one of those where it's the fancy Christmas ones. Okay? It's all about keeping everything safe and neat. And I know as well as they talk about this, that we've got to make sure of documents that are kept safe and we know where they are rather than where we think they are.
Okay.
Okay? Because they're things that we need coming up. Okay. So just remember that, because she's saying I'm trying to organise you.
Oh.
I think you're probably organised, but she's
No.
saying, oh, you're not. Okay. So there you go. I'll ignore that. You're not organised. But I get this feeling that she just wants you to make sure everything's where it should be.
Okay.
Everything's in its place. That would have been her motto in life. Everything, if you asked me where it was, it'd be in the third compartment in the drawer of such and such. She knew exactly where everything was. So take her love and bring love to mum and dad as well from them as well, because they're around. Would you also understand who George is that connects in as well, please?
Yeah,
That's
been
him.
on my side.
Okay. Because I hear them just calling out for George. Is their technical brain there?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. Because then because they've got like me. He said like me, technical like me. Okay. So again, watching over the little talents and abilities. Right. So let me leave that with their love for you and say God bless. Right. Oh. My lady, you're sat at the back. You've got a black body warmer on and a pink jumper. Hello. Hello there. Right, okay. Slow down. I've got a gentleman with me here. Bear with me just one moment. I know that as I have this man, I know that his passing was a bit of a shock to him. I'm not necessarily sure it's a shock to everybody else, but I feel that his health just suddenly went, and I feel as if I'm losing my breath, I'm losing my balance, and as I'm sadly collapsing. But it's all come out of nowhere. I don't know how it's happened. Would you understand that with the gentleman, please?
Yeah.
Because he said, in his words, I wasn't unwell, didn't feel great, but I wasn't unwell. But I know that everything was the shock to him and the people that were around him as well. But I know that as he comes in here, it's strange that he's starting with that. But I know that we're talking also about situations here that have been a little bit breathtaking and have shocked us, that things have happened in life at the moment, not to do with someone's passing, but to do with situations in our own life. Would you understand that?
Yes.
Okay, because he kind of brings his experience of passing with the same kind of shock that everything's happened as it has. But he's trying to bring in the fact that as he moved through, he was fine and better as a result, because he was okay in spirit, that as we've moved through this, to know that you will be okay. Would you understand that? Because he said, I just want to reassure you, like we talked about in the address, it's the chaos and the shock of things is replaced by peace. Okay? And I feel here as well, would you understand going back into the home of having, I know we've got like the little Advent wreath here, but would you understand the memories of having the Advent wreath left out at home on a table and would have been adhered to every Sunday for lighting the candle?
Yes.
Because there's memories of this. Was this with your mum, please? Or is this grandmother who did that?
No, I think it's with me more.
Oh, it's with you, okay. But I keep feeling as if I've got a strong faith that comes from mum that then influences you. Would that be fair to say or not? Tell me no. Bear with me 1 second. Because spiritualism is not how you were raised, is it? No. And it feels as if in the household, I'm not necessarily saying you're there every single Sunday, but church has been an important part there in youth.
No.
That's all right. No, bear with me because I need to find where we are with this. Would you understand where there's the name of Donald? Don? Okay. And would you also understand where there's where I've got an Emily as well?
I'm not sure about Emily.
Okay. Where Don is related or connected, this is where I want to talk also about my connections to church and time at church. And I feel that Emily would be a friendship connection that goes back to a time when we were living very close, like a stone's throw to a church. Yes, okay. Because it's this time that I'm hearing about from Mum, about this time of religion and belief, okay? Because I feel as if it's just because you change your belief, you don't have to get rid of everything you believe in, okay? And I know that as she brings that in, as she talks about this, it's also about talking about the change of belief in other people. Just because some people disappoint us, it doesn't mean everybody will. Okay? So don't lose your faith and your belief in people, just like the traditions that may be not of where you are now, but you still like to hold. Does that make sense to you? Don't lose the faith in people. Okay? Because I know your mum feels there's been this pullback because of what's happened. Okay? Pulling away from people. Okay? Don't lose faith in people. Your mum wouldn't lose faith in people. Okay? I'm not saying mum's a rose-coloured spectacles lady, but there are times when she'll keep seeing the best in people. Okay? But she just wants you to keep having faith in people. Okay? Don't lose faith. Don't lose hope. I've also got a gentleman placing a ring in your hand. Have you got a hubby in spirit world, please? Yeah. Because he just brings this ring, this plain ring, and places it as if nothing breaks that connection, not even passing. Okay, not even passing. But I know there is a sense of him of strength, not always saying how he felt, but certainly bringing the strength to you. I'm there. Okay, I'm there. So, and would you understand as well, please? Is there? I know this might seem very common because even in my childhood we did it, but would you understand this memory and this importance? You know, we used to make paper chains rather than tinsel. Yeah. I've got this making of paper chains, and the importance of just the joy of doing that because we're going to decorate everything, and there's how long can we make them? How big can we get these chains? And this fun. And again, I'm going back to things that are a tradition that nowadays people would think, why on earth do you bother? It wasn't about making the stuff. It was about being with the people at the time. Okay? So just take this love for this period. And again, you know when we said about no matter what you do, no matter who you're with, know it's being with them that matters the most. Can I leave that thought with you and with that love? But don't know that peace is there. Know that this is settled. It's settled within you. What they do, up to them. Okay? What they do, up to them. So let me leave that with you and say God bless. Okay, so my ma'am, we've got ladies wearing lovely aquary colour. Hello there. Yes, hello, good morning. That's good, you're quiet.
Always helps.
I've got a gentleman here, and all of this is a bit odd. Spiritual people sitting here talking to dead. You're all odd, you lot. Thank you. But I know that as he comes here, he's not the closed-minded person that says everything is tosh, but he would certainly look at everything with a very discerning eye and think, well, you'd have to prove it to me for me to even have an opinion. Would you understand that with the gentleman in spirit, please? Yes. Okay. Because he's sort of hearing saying, well, I'll have a look and see what I think. And I know that behind this dryness is a lovely sense of humour with this man, because he would, you know, when people don't know how to take someone when they meet them and they don't know whether they're joking or being serious, this man had such a lovely deadpan face. He'd say something and people would go, I don't know whether he's playing with me or he's serious, and he would keep it going for so long, and then the smile would crack and they'd know he was having them on a bit. Okay, but I know that as he comes in here, he wants to talk about bringing this peace and this stillness around you, about this peace and this quiet, and and not being so quiet on how you feel. Do you understand that? To talk about how you feel and not to just think, I've just got to deal with it all in here. I've got to let it out. And I've got to be free to express and not worry about how other people respond. I need to just get it off my chest. Okay? And I know that as he brings that, is this your husband, please?
Yes.
Okay. Because it's as if... No. Right, hang on a second. That's your... Oh, okay. So this is dad then, sorry. So this is dad, not husband. Okay. Because all I just kept hearing was husband then, you see. So I'm thinking, okay, so husband's there. No, he's not in the spirit world, he's there, isn't he? Just prod him, make sure. No. That would be, see, that would be your dad's sense of humour. If someone was having a sleep, they'd go, prod him, just check they're still with us. And they'd be, so they have that sense of humour. And I know that when you got to know Dad, that he would be, if he was a friend, he was a strong and firm friend. If he didn't like you, you're probably never going to get on his good books ever. Because once he'd made his mind up, steel trap. That's it. Okay. It's all right, you're in the good books, he likes you. But I know that as he's... okay. Would you understand, did your dad used to have a connection when he was younger with working on roads?
I don't know.
Because
no,
I...
No, not really, no.
Oh, okay. Because I get this feeling, you know when you used to have people working on the roads and labouring in their early life, working out what they were going to do?
His father did.
Ah, his father did, okay. Because I just get this feeling of working on the roads and labouring and doing whatever was available at the time, because that's what we had to do. So I may have also your grandfather connecting in there, but I get this feeling it's hard work, but it's honest. And that's how he said, I don't care what anyone else thinks. Hard work, but it's honest. But I know when he talks about that just briefly, would you understand having a similar conversation with someone here about it doesn't always matter what the work is so long as you got the work? Right, hang on a second. This isn't a member of your family. This is a friendship connection where somebody has been... He's talking about somebody that's been trying to think about work or is changing their work or is being pushed in some way about their working environment. And there's this conversation about work is work. You understand that? And he's listened into that conversation. And it doesn't matter what... Because some people go, oh, I wouldn't do that. Work is work if it earns you the money. And if you need the money... And that would be your dad and granddad's view of it. If you need the money, you go and do it. Very matter of fact. There's no shilly-shally. I can't say it like that. Whether you're cleaning the outhouse or you're tarmacking a road, it's your work. Get on with it. Okay. It's not saying it to you, but you know where it's led. Okay. So I know that as they're just bringing in this, they're bringing in that strength and that support to just say what needs to be said, and it just let it. Okay. Let it. Anything else you want done? Have you got your mum's address book? You know, like when someone used to keep an address book and birthday book and all the addresses of all the people going back. Did you have your mum's?
I don't know.
Because, oh, hang on a second. Then maybe it's not hers. I'm seeing, you know, like what I call the small slimline address books, but I've got it stuffed with all bits of paper, addresses, notes, and is that something you have? Do you know who Celia is? Hang on a minute, I may have moved from you. Let me leave that with you, and I'm taking the address book back. You don't have to keep that. You don't have to keep Celia. Just keep Dad and Grandad and the road and the outhouse. And there's memories. They must have gone back. I know it is a cultural thing, but you'd remember where there was the house, where it was the trip down the garden if you wanted to go. Out into the backyard to go to the loo, not in the house. Yes. Because I've got that on cold and frosty mornings. Don't be the first one to go. And that'd be the joke of your daddy go on, get out there. I'll come in after. Okay, so just that love, and I love that down to earth. And he was salt of the earth in that side of the family, really salt of the earth. So let me leave their love and their support. So who here would understand the thing about the diary, with all the bits of paper and addresses in, and would also understand the name of Celia? It's not a very common name. Two lots of people. My lady, no one else, because we can have a hands up. Oh, and another. So we got 1, 2, 3. Oh, and 4. Oh my Lord. Well, Celia's obviously more of a popular name than I'd imagine. Okay, so bear with me 1 second. I know that as I have this notebook, and I want to make sure this notebook, this address book is absolutely right. It has got a floral pattern on the front. It is almost like apricots or roses. It's that kind of apricot flowers that's on it. On this address book.
I'm not sure.
Not sure?
Yes.
Yes. No. Yes. No. One of two. Bear with me. Okay. And I know that as we're looking at this, is this something that's still owned and possessed? Yes? Yeah. Whoa. I thought that was going to have it. Right, let's just work with you both for a second. We may be with Sue, though, because I know we've worked with you, but still listening, it may also link. But I know that as we have this, and of course this time of year, those little books essential. But I know that, please, if this is right, there is, I'm hearing a lady here, and this is Mum in spirit. I don't necessarily know it's her book. Would it be Mum's book? No. Okay. But I know I've got Mum here in spirit, and I know that Mum was one of these consummate card writers for everyone and everything. And even if we haven't heard from them all year, I'm still going to write to them at Christmas. Yes. That's all right. We'll keep going. But I know here she's talking about someone we've written to several years running, but we've not heard back from.
Yes.
Keep going. Well, just listen, both of you. Make life easier. Poor medium, my brain will explode in a minute. But I know that she's talking about this. Do you also know Francis? No. Thank you. There we go. Bless you.
On the airplane.
That's all right. I just wanted a friend, Francis. And we write to, we connect to, we sent to, we talk to. Okay. Because I get the feeling here as well. Do you know, Mum said, isn't it difficult keeping up with all these people? But she said you do it, and you feel you should, and you must, and you will, and you can, and you do, and because it's not that. And she said it's not. You say it's not the same. I'm not going to send them an email. I'm not going to send them a text. I'm going to send them a card. I'm going to insist on sending them a card.
Yeah.
Okay, and she loves that. She said because that's about a bit of you rather than just a. Okay, but I know here with Mum must have been very sensitive to other people's comments about things.
Yeah.
And if people didn't reciprocate, she'd get very upset.
Yeah.
Because she said, it doesn't take much. It doesn't take much. And your mum very much would have helped anyone, especially this time of year. She would have been making sure that everybody had, and she said, no, you have this. We don't need that. I can get another one. And I know there were families in the street that she supported, very much so. And your mum was greatly loved by the community, not just the family. Because I know that as she comes in here and brings this, she's talking about, when we talked earlier about the gift and the gifts that we give and what we share with people, Mum's presence is still noted at Christmas.
Yeah.
And you also sit and talk to Mum at this time of year particularly. And she said, and I was there, and you were saying, just give me the strength, and then then I can be rough, okay? So she knows. But I also know, I know we've got a little one there, but would you understand where there's a Jack Russell, please, that connects in spirit, please?
Maybe Ian knows about the Jack Russell.
Do you know, Ian?
Do you not have a Jack Russell?
Hang on a second. Let me go back to Mum and where Mum lived.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
And I've got, when Jack Russells bounce
Yes.
and they go up above the wall to see who's there. Memories of that.
Used to follow her to school and do
There you are. Because she's got the Jack Russell following her here. Okay? So there is that. And I know as well, and you haven't got dogs now, have you? Okay? because I want to just put the love and the care around there as well, and the support. All right. And again, Mum, whether it's on 2 legs or 4 legs, it had Mum's heart. Okay. So let me just leave her love and her affection. Oh no, hang on a second, we haven't finished. Have you just donated a load of musical schools to a book or a school, or have you thought of thinning stuff out and where to give it?
Yes.
Look at that. So, because she's just again saying that will bring so much joy to other people. Okay, so much joy to other people. So, and again, that was Mum. Shirt off the back, and it doesn't matter if we haven't got, so long as everyone's happy.
Yeah.
All right. And yes, all right. Your mum could talk and talk and talk when she got going, couldn't she? She wouldn't let it go. She said, "Now I've got you. You're not going anywhere." You know, you just say, "Now I just need to ask you a question," and 2 hours later, you'd still be going. But that was because she just wanted to be with you. She just wanted to talk, and she still is. All right. Would you understand? You know when we used to have all the glass baubles and the hanging pendant glass ornaments, but also where we used to have like the bows and things, but she used to keep, no matter how tatty it got, she kept it, because one was added for special occasions all the time, wasn't it?
Yeah, I do that.
And you do that as well, lovely, because she just keeps saying there's just more and more and more, and she said, but each one's a memory, and each one holds love. So, you know, for everything, all right, everything and everything. And, oh God, no, you're not finished either, go on. He's going to kill me next. Has your mum got 2 brothers that are there in Spirit World with her, or do you know why there are 2, she's talking about 2 brothers?
Well, it's definitely one, but I know my grandmother had a miscarriage.
Okay, because she just talks about being with her 2 brothers. Okay, and she talks about her 2 brothers, so just know that family there, because you know you looked after Mum, and she said, don't worry, I'm looked after, I'm looking after everyone else here again now, all right, so don't you worry, look after yourself and yours, all right. I'll leave that with you, and thank you, my lady, for keep chatting with me as we're going. So ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of both myself and those in the Spirit World, thank you for your love and your power that makes those communications possible, and from them, have a lovely Christmas and a happy and spirited New Year. God bless.
Are you coming up or are you staying there? Answer me.
Yeah, we'll bring them up.
Oh, hang on.
Someone will give them a hand.
You give them a hand.
I will.
Wait a minute, wait a minute.
Oh, hang on.
So
It's all right,
just
he's
quick,
raring to go.
quick few notices. On Wednesday afternoon at 3 o'clock, we have our open healing circle.
Sorry, Lauren.
No, you're right. Anybody is welcome to come and join that.
Oh,
That
no,
runs
you're not
from
there.
3 till about 3:30. So we might need
So
it
I've
in a
got
minute.
myself against me.
On the evening, at 7 o'clock, we have our open meditation circle. Everyone's welcome to join that. Then on next Sunday, our service, instead of being at 11 o'clock, will be at 4 o'clock. That's Christmas Eve. So that will run from 4 till 5 on Christmas Eve. As I mentioned earlier, Christmas Day we are open with full hot food service. So if you're on your own, feeling isolated, come down and join us. It'll be wonderful to see you. And then Thursday the 28th, Mark and myself again will be taking the platform for an evening of mediumship. New Year's Eve, a gong bath with a lovely Scania Price. There's one at 4 till 5 and one 4 till 5 are sold out, and there's a few tickets left for the 6 till 7 one. Then the church will reopen, I think it's the 7th, the Monday the 7th, for our healing evening, and then it's all back to normal. All right? Always, just have a look at the website. Sue and Lynn, if you would like to bring the food out, please, and start putting that on the table. We will be doing, there's some food, teas and coffees available after the service. Please don't go and hang around the kitchen like the wraiths at Christmas. There's no prize for getting your coffee first, seriously, just wait. The 2 lovely ladies will look after that. We now have the lovely Jim. Jim, who's got a poem for us. Anyone does need to leave because of car parking, whatever, please, just go quietly and have a blessed time. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Good morning and Merry Christmas to you all.
Good morning.
First of all, I would just like to say thank you to Lawrence and to all the people here in the church who have welcomed my daughter and myself on our move from Weymouth to Bournemouth. You've made us feel at home and we appreciate that. Let's say thank you.
That's right.
These are words that come not just from spirit, but come from my heart. And I'll mention that from a start. This is called a Christmas message for you all. Christmas is coming and drawing so very near. Soon it will be the most important day of the year. On that day it will be full of celebration. Bells will ring out from every single nation. Those Christmas trees at night make a wonderful sight. Our whole world transformed into a heavenly white. May those angels shine on your Christmas tree. The turkey and the mistletoe are part of the festivity. Every Christmas blessings are sent around our church, finding that spirit in the teachings from Silver Birch, leaving a plate of mince pies for Father Christmas to see, a glass of wine to drink in Jesus Christ's memory. These few words from Spirit are for you that I write. Healing hands at Christmas make a beautiful spiritual sight. During celebrations, you may have a surprise up your sleeve, a hidden bottle of wine to drink on Christmas Eve. The sound of Christmas carols sung by a holy church choir. All these seasonal chestnuts are roasting on an open fire. At church the star of Bethlehem shines on you all so bright, bringing the best wishes for Christmas and a new year full of light.
Lovely.
God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'd just like to mention
Yeah, just stay there. We also have Todd. Get up here.
In the nicest of possible ways.
His dad told me I've got to make him get up on the platform. Eh? Lovely, we're just sacking you, dear. We're going automated. Ta-ta, Todd. You've been replaced by AI. Todd comes in week after week, operates the camera system for all the wonderful viewers and watchers wherever you are in the world. So this is the man behind moving the camera around and everything. Big thank you. And it's your birthday tomorrow. Yay! Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Todd. Happy birthday to you. All right. Thank you, Todd. You need to go back and turn the camera off now. Back on with your job, come on. Mark, if I could invite you please for the closing.
Sorry,
Thank
Jim,
you.
moving in front of you there. So, ladies and gentlemen, as we conclude our service, let's close our eyes but open our hearts and minds in prayer. Gracious and divine Spirit, we thank you for this time that we have shared this day. And what a beautiful time it has been to share our love of each other, our spirit, and to bring that joy into this festive season, to bring an understanding to joy to the world and to each other, to touch that sense of peace and love and healing, and to share the community that is our spiritual family, not just in this church, but also at a distance, throughout this world. And let us move into this festive time of year in the best way that we possibly can, whatever this time of year means to each and every one of us. Let us celebrate it in our own way. let us connect, share and love with others in their own way, and allow us to be the joy at Christmas, to bring the peace wherever we go, and to let that light shine into this world. So we are thankful and grateful for all that has been, for all that is, and for all that is yet to come, with love and joy and hope of the season, and of a new world, a new day, and a new year ahead. Amen.
Amen. Mark, thank you so much. Reverend Ashley has had to leave early to catch up with another engagement, but thank you to you. Sue!
Thank you, Sue.
Thank you, Sue. It's been lovely. And I like the impromptu happy birthday. That's great. Well done, you.
Friends, as little as it may be,
Yeah, thank you
I'd
very
like
much.
to donate this message to Lawrence and the church.
Oh, lovely.
As
yeah.
small as it is only.
That's all right. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Jim. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. As I said, teas and coffees are available. Marguerite is selling the raffle tickets out the back of the church there. The raffle will be drawn shortly. If you're not staying, have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day. If we don't see you, have a beautiful Christmas.
And I'll be out the back.
And Mark will be out the back with his stall. I forgot that. Yay!
Right, let's give you a hand. Yeah. Depends on your expectations. Depends on what it is we're expecting.